Well, the time has came. It's time to fix this game room. Obviously last month, or I guess technically the beginning of this month because I posted it late, we saw the game room tour final for 2024. I gotta take this Christmas tree down. I gotta move everything around these bookcases. There's this one, all these here, all going down that wall. There's a lot to get through. The big overview of it is I want to get this PlayStation 5 stuff, the boxes for controllers and everything else, pull it off of here, bring the PlayStation 4 into the middle one here, and the PlayStation 3 there, move Switch there, just make it nice. Obviously in that game room tour video I said I want to get a bookcase to put up here. I've not got a chance to do that yet, so we probably won't get to see that until game room tour summer of 2025, but there's just so much to do. This Christmas tree's gonna take forever to get down. It's currently 4:30 p.m. Ideally, I'm gonna have this done before like 8 o'clock, but honestly, at this point, I can already see it's gonna take a very long time. So without further ado, let's get into it. I'll see you once I get this thing down. Actually, real quick before we do it, there was something else I forgot to mention. I bought a bunch of these. This is like 16 in here. Basically, this is to display handheld game systems and other random things. I'm really gonna finally get to do that now. I have been up until the longest time just throwing them on the shelves, but no, not anymore. Christmas tree is down and now it's time for everything else. This is a couple of games I picked up recently that I just haven't cataloged yet. Too Long Didn't Read, Splinter Cell Double Agent, my favorite of the Splinter Cells, the Killzone trilogies. I already had it on PlayStation 2 and then the 3 and 4, but I saw it physically for the collection. I just thought, hey, that's a good deal. And then all the Kingdom Hearts games on PlayStation 4, I surprisingly didn't have them. I have them on Xbox, digitally at least, I think. I think it's Xbox I have it on. But I have them, I just didn't ever really do anything with it. So I restarted it, and this is another one, Deus Ex. It's a really great game, Nintendo 64. I got them, I just never played them, and that's kind of an ongoing theme for me. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, those Kingdom Hearts games, I played about an hour of Kingdom Hearts 1, and I haven't gone back to it yet, and that's been about a month now. So depending on how you look at it, that may or may not be a terrible purchase. But if the day ever comes where I want to like sit down and just log in and finish them, it's good to go. This is one of the collector's editions of Persona 5 Royale. I have all of them, but this one is my favorite just because of the way it looks. And now it's PS4 time. I'm undecided if I'm going to move this guy over there with him. I probably will, but it's Johnny Silverhand, Keanu Reeves. I really like Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk 2077, it's one of those games. It did something to my brain. And honestly, I feel like it's just the ideal game. Oh yeah, 2 limited edition controllers for the PlayStation 4. I did not go too deep into collecting controllers for it like I have the 5, but you got the retro translucent official PS4 controller, and you got the Star Wars Battlefront 2 controller, which came with the Star Wars Battlefront 2 PlayStation, which I will show you if I didn't plug it in. This was my original and only PS4 Pro. I honestly, at this point, it exists as a display piece. Because obviously it's not getting played, because why would you play the PS4 Pro when you have a PlayStation 5 and it plays everything anyways? It's just kind of a cost fallacy. It's going to take so long to move all these games over. And I just honestly hope that I can do it with enough room that it's not a hassle to get games out. And honestly, I'll move the camera and I'll show you closer to the time, but this really looks like it's going to be an issue. Because over here, the PlayStation 5, I have a good inch of room to just grab and go. But here there's no room, and honestly, yeah, I'm just going to move it. So I wasn't going to move these bookcases at all, but now after seeing that, this is going to be an issue. Luckily it's just pegs, so it shouldn't take too long. Fun fact, I've bought Dragon Ball Z Kakarot on PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PlayStation 5, and I have never finished the game. Which is just something with me with Dragon Ball games. I never end up finishing them. I love Dragon Ball, I just never end up finishing them. Detroit. Oh, receipts. This is something I do with every game that I buy. I always keep the receipt so I can remember when I bought the game. This is Death Stranding. I bought it January 14th, 2020. It's been 5 years ago almost. It's kind of crazy. Or I guess by the time you're watching this, it probably would have already been 5 years. Time just flies, man. And that's the craziest part, I think, about getting older. Eventually, time will pass so long that it'll be 10 years since I got my PS4 originally, which was November of 2015. It'll be 10 years later this year, which is crazy to me, really. This is one of those FOMO games for me. Fast and Furious Crossroads. So, Too Long Didn't Read. It was getting discontinued and pulled off of marketplaces. So I bought it thinking I'd play it or it'd be rare at some point and I would want it so that I don't have to pay, $100 for it. Haven't played it and it's still a cheap game. Still can't believe all the stuff we went through for the Jack and Daxter Limited Run stuff. Like, we worked so hard for that and waited so long and it was still late. It took them like 3 years to do them all. And then now you look at Limited Run and they're a shell of the company they used to be. I used to proudly associate myself with them, but now it's just like, why even bother? They're such a bad company. They're shady. I mean, there's nothing good you can really say about Limited Run in 2025. I still buy stuff from them, but it's stupid stuff that they shouldn't have exclusively. Like the Yakuza Collector's Edition. That should have been a full-fledged release. Why did the Limited Run have to do it? Same with Sonic Generations. It's just, they're a scummy company now. Oh yeah, one thing. I don't own The Witcher 3 on PS4. I only have it on speaking of Limited Run, the King of Fighters card was in here. I forgot I put that in there. But I don't own The Witcher 3 on PlayStation 4. I own it on PC. But this is a super, super rare steelbook. As far as I know, it was only released in Denmark? No, Poland. It was only released in Poland, except for Black Friday 2015. GameStop got one copy of this steelbook each for every single store. So, kind of a, I guess, more unique, interesting part of Witcher history. I really hope I don't gotta move anything down. I probably do. I don't. Awesome. You love to see it. You absolutely love to see it. One of my goals for 2025 is to go back and finish a lot of games I bought and then never finished, or games that I bought and then never played. Like Okami HD. I bought that game when it came out, never played it. There was something weird I did with it. I don't remember what it was. I think I got it on Switch and then I played it there. So I decided not to play it on the PS4, but I don't think they came out at the same time. So I don't think that was the reason I didn't play it. It's been a while, so I don't really remember. But either way, the sequel just got announced, so it's time to go back and play it again. There are so many PlayStation 4 games I gotta move over here. I have almost 200 of them. This is one of those ones that I think is a hidden gem that more people should know about. Sayonara Wild Hearts. So Too Long Didn't Read. It began as a game for the Apple Arcade debut. It was never supposed to be for console as far as I know. But then, thanks to the Apple Arcade funding, it did good enough that they were able to put it on console, which is actually really exciting. Not just for me, because I really liked the game, but also in the sense that it was a small studio and the game on Apple Arcade was meant to be more or less just a digital music video for the songs in it, because it's by a real band. Just phenomenal. If you ever get a chance to play it, catch it on sale or something, it's a great game. You would love it. Oh, I got a lot to say about the games in this corner right here. So, Santa Claus, bought it for like $5, never opened it. Realistically, probably gonna stay stilled forever. Skullgirl Zombie Hunter. So, if I remember correctly, I told somebody, maybe my girlfriend, that I wanted more zombie stuff for my birthday, right? And when I said that, I meant like Walking Dead-ish, and not, I got that. So that's kind of interesting. This game, perfect remake, 10 out of 10. Never finished it. Got really, actually, wrong one. That's Shenmue 1 and 2. Absolutely loved it. Adorable. Perfect. 10 out of 10. Game of the generation for Sega. Really game of the whole, like, console life cycle for them. Shenmue 3, didn't finish it. Got bored. Not that great. Spider-Man 2018 really defined PlayStation 4. One of the worst remakes I've ever seen. Absolutely terrible game. Played it for all of, like, 20 minutes. It was like, okay, no, this did not age well at all. And then that was kind of the moment that I learned not everything deserves to be remade. Honestly, this one is so much more dusty than I thought it was going to be, because honestly, it doesn't make any sense for it to be dusty, because, like, there was something on it at all times, and somehow it managed to collect dust even underneath. And now it's the part that I'm not too sure what I want to do with. So, the situation I'm finding myself in at this very moment, I have two options. I can take one of the shelves off of here and put down here to have an extra row of PS4, because let's face it, I'm going to be buying a lot more PS4, so it's a good idea. And the PlayStation 3 stuff I don't have as much of, because I focus mainly on the Xbox 360 collecting for that generation. So I could kill off just one row here and have one full row of PS3, and then handheld, and then something else on the bottom that I don't know about yet, and then see how that goes, or pull a shelf off of there onto here. They're all the same size shelf, so it doesn't really matter too much. It's just, you know what, let's do that. Let's take this shelf off and then put that bottom shelf there, because realistically, one of these bookcases are just gonna be this type of stuff, like the PlayStation 5 stuff, the headsets, the controllers, boxes, and everything. So realistically, I can stack those on top of each other, so it's not gonna matter too much. So yeah, that's the plan for now. Not gonna lie to you, this is probably the best product PlayStation came out with in a long time, the Portal, and then the Anniversary controller. There's just something special about it. It's just so uniquely PlayStation. And I'm going to go ahead and pull these games off the shelf so that I can get there a lot quicker. Alright, so it's going to be a little bit tight, but for right now it doesn't matter too much, because I don't got enough PlayStation 4 stuff to completely fill that shelf. And so on the bottom I can properly display some handful of collector's editions that I got. Or I guess the term better to use would be limited editions. Once I leave El Paso and I'm back in Buffalo, it's going to be a lot easier, because obviously it's going to be with the house, so I'm not going to be limited to what I can have out on display at a time. So if I want to buy a bunch of bookcases, I can. If I want to go buy a ton of games for no good reason, that is also something I can do. It's honestly, the entire time I've had this PlayStation 4, and this is the end of the 4 for me, it is so, like, uniquely, like, PlayStation, I guess, that I can finally display everything here. Oh yeah, Alan Wake. Oh, let me show you this one real quick. So I got this in 2024. I got it at Half Price Books for $10 in May. We had gone to Austin, Texas for a Melanie Martinez concert. And honestly, dude, wasn't expecting to see this. Saw it, freaked out a little bit because I knew it was going for like $100 at the time. And it's just, man, it was just nice to finally get that. I love Alan Wake. I loved it on the 360 when I was a kid, and I loved it today. It's just such a good game. And then obviously for right now, with these collector's editions here, can't exactly do too much with them, I don't think, because it's just not, like, there's no room really for it. So it's like, what do I do with it? So it's just kind of got Jet Girls, the Yakuza Remastered Collection, and Final Fantasy VII Remakes Limited Edition. Obviously, as more PS4 games enter the collection throughout the year, ideally I want to finish up this third shelf and start on the fourth, but this is already looking so much better than the way I had it before. And I guess while we're doing it, because I'm going to be cleaning up the entire thing, that as well pull off the PlayStation 5 stuff and start dusting it. Alright, that's gonna be a problem. So the Yakuza one just fell off. And I'm not the biggest fan of that, so I guess we'll figure something else with that. Maybe... Actually, that probably would be better for Yakuza. Does it fit? Nope, it does not. Alright, that's fine. I can just throw it further in the back, I guess. No, because then that looks weird. Shoot. Did not anticipate this being an issue. Maybe I can situate it in a way that it's going to be held up by both Final Fantasy and Kandagawa Jet. Yeah, that's gonna work. It's gonna look goofy, but it works. And I guess at the end of the day, that's all that matters, is that it works. So we're in the back half of the PlayStation 5 life cycle, and I find it so bizarre that it came by so quickly. Obviously, putting it into context with the PlayStation 4, it's 2025. So it's basically 2018 for the PlayStation 4. 2 years to go if this gets the same life cycle treatment as the PS4, which is just bizarre to think. We got 7 years of the 4. Honestly, I feel like we're going to get way more out of the 5. I would be surprised if the 5 doesn't hit at least 9 years. After seeing the Nintendo Switch go on for as long as it has, I think it would be very silly of Sony to try and do it short, you know? The PlayStation 5 is unfortunately not filling the 2 shelves for me yet. It's getting really, really close. It's just not all the way there, which is fine, because this year's going to have a lot of games coming out, and a lot of games coming in. Next week, for example, we have the Resident Evil 2, or at least at the time of recording next week, we have the Resident Evil 2 remake, 3 remake, and Resident Evil 7 all finally coming to PlayStation 5. So that's 3 additional games already being added. We have this Destruction Racing game coming. There's just a lot in the pipeline. And I'm going to fill out these still books here, even though I don't keep the games in still books, just to have it fill out the entire shelf. And then just for right now, I'm going to probably display these sideways, just so that it has something on here instead of just being, I guess, silly looking. So we'll put Liza P there. That was such a great game. Lego Star Wars. We'll put Saints Row right next to that. And then Cult of the Lamb right there. That honestly ended up looking so good. I'm actually pleasantly happy with how the 5 and the 4 looks right there. I've never been happy with how the PlayStation 4 looks, whether it's on these bookcases in my childhood bedroom, on these random wooden bookcases that I've had since I was a kid. These I've all bought since I've moved out, but it's just, it looks so good. And obviously, we'll do a quick overview of the whole thing once we're done, but oh god, dude, this is so much, so quick. And we still got 10 consoles to go. Not even halfway done. This was honestly, without a doubt, more than likely going to be the longest video of my YouTubing career. Let's get started on PlayStation 3. It's so strange how just dusty these get off of basically never being touched, even though there's 1,001 things there. It just doesn't make sense to me. In hindsight, I should have brought some PlayStation 3 stuff over so that I wouldn't have to do this big long walk. These are always the PlayStation 3 games that I keep on display for everybody to see. Tokyo Jungle, Yakuza Dead Souls, and the Metal Gear Solid Legacy Collection. These are probably my 3 rarest, at least that I know of, my 3 rarest PlayStation 3 games. I might have more rare, I don't know. But as far as I know, those are the rarest ones I have. I actually get a lot of mileage out of my PlayStation 3. Even all these years later, I still do. It was just such a great console. And there's always games that I'm discovering for it that I had no idea existed. Alright, so I think it'll be much ideal to have this right there. These pegs. Because I think that should be more than enough room. If not, I'll just move them down a bit. Probably just one peg down would be all that would be needed. Because obviously, these PlayStation 3 boxes were so small, you don't really need a lot of room for them. Yet, that works just perfect with plenty of room to be able to like pick them out without having to do a whole bunch of rigmarole. Oh dude, that's looking clean. I think
from AC Cyber 1.
I think what's likely to happen, because I'm going to run out of room here, I'm going to probably pull another shelf over here, and then at that point I'm going to add in PSP and PS Vita on here. And then on the bottom, I'm not sure yet, but I have a plan. Just trust me, I got it. Oh yeah, that's right. The PlayStation 4 is going to be filled out as soon as I catalog these and put them up over there. You know, this is one of those games that kind of makes me sad. Midnight Club Los Angeles. I recently went back and restarted it for the first time in like, I don't know, 20 years. Oh my god. It's almost been 20 fucking years? Because that game came out in 2009, it's 2025. Holy fuck, I'm getting old. Because I said 20 years as a joke. But it really has been almost, oh my god. I am not going to mentally recover from that. I promise you. This is another one of those games I just recently picked up. X-Men Destiny something. I hope it's really, really good. Because I just got that in September. Haven't got a chance to play it yet because so many other games came out. And then I had responsibilities with work. So things just got in the way. And that sucked. But it's a new year. My life's calming down a lot. So hopefully I'm going to be able to do it. As this year, I only have a couple priorities really. Get a new job because I want to leave my current one. I'm not happy in it. And just prioritize myself, YouTube, self-growth, etc. So this year, a lot of games are going to be played. I mean, I've already even gone back to Minecraft already this year, which that kind of started towards the end of last year. And it's just, you know, when you're in a Minecraft slump, you're about to experience a whole life-changing epidural procedure, Azerbaijan, whatever you want to call it. Like, your life's about to change. Look how dusty and dirty that is, bro. So for this shelf for the PS3, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to go down an extra like 2 or 3 pegs. Because I have some collector's editions for Vita that I think is going to fit on the same shelf. So that's the plan right now. And then I think what I am more than likely to do after that is I have some Vita collector edition boxes that I'm probably going to put down below there. A couple consoles from Japan, etc. So I think it's going to work out really nice. And then obviously this year one of my goals is collecting heavy for the PSP and the Vita. So there's going to be a lot of stuff added to it throughout the year. And the final handful of PS3 games, Yakuza 3 and 4 and UFC 2010 and Undisputed 3. Kind of crazy to think how long it's been now, but UFC 3 was revolutionary when it came out, and my watch thinks I'm going on a run. Alright, we may have messed up. Oh no, we may have messed up. So these might not be as long as I thought they were. So this one might actually stick out until I can get another one of these bookcases just for the shelves. This is less than ideal. This is way less than ideal. But I'll make it work. I'll figure something out. I will figure something out. I have another bookcase here that I put shoes on. If it ends up bothering me that much, I can just do that. And take one of those off and throw it there. Put the shoe one on over there. But is it worth doing that? Is it gonna bother? Yeah, it's gonna bother me that much. Oh, fuck. Okay. I genuinely thought these were the same size and same length. Oh well, I guess not. And that means I have to get some deoxygenation stuff from over there to clean this. Tried to subvert it. It's clean. And we are good. I should have thrown this away. We are good to go then. Yeah, dude. This is definitely on its way. Why are you tilting sideways? This is definitely on its way to being the biggest video, or at least the longest video that I have ever made in my life. I'm thankful that it's just such a simple video that as far as editing goes, I'm not going to have to do that much, because if this was about to have a lot of editing, that was about to be... Okay, why the fuck does it fit this one? Is this going to be too short? I swear to God, if Target changed their dimensions since I bought this one and this one, I'm going to be very upset. It fits it fine. What is that? You know what? I'm not going to question it. It just works. It just happened this way. Honestly, this has worked out enough that I don't think I'm going to need to display these three anymore, because the reason I have always displayed these separately, I'm going to take these ear pods out, but the reason I've always displayed them separately is because it just takes so long to fill it out, so it ends up looking silly. But honestly, with what I'm about to do to this, it's working. I honestly feel like this video is going to be over an hour long, and I do not want it to be over an hour long because you have no idea how hard it is to edit when the MacBook you're using is starting to show its age and everything is just falling apart on it. It's a nightmare. So I'm going to display Metal Gear Solid 3 or Metal Gear Solid over those ones just because it aligns so perfectly. And now we're going to move Vita onto there, and I'm going to actually go get the special edition Vitas that I have to throw them up on there. This is actually the only one I have, but I want to get a lot more. It is the Final Fantasy X PlayStation Vita Special Edition. I actually ended up modding this thing. Long story short, they used to be very, very cheap to get special editions of the Vita from Japan. I paid like $80 for that. I think it's like $400 now. Absolutely ridiculous, but a lot of memories with that thing. What I'm thinking right now with the Vita games is that they should ideally fit perfectly onto here. But the thing I'm worried about currently is it going to look weird? Is it going to look... Actually, that's what I can do, because this will work as a natural divider of the two. Because originally I was just going to put that down there, but nah, dude, that works out as a perfect natural divider. And then the rest of the Vita stuff that I have fits not extremely perfect, but better than it could be. I don't know what's going down here yet. We will figure that out at some point. I guess I could put PSP there, because it is definitely going to be a heavy PSP year for me. And I do have some stuff over there I need to bring over. Oh yeah, PSP Go box, bought it brand new. Then I still got some Vita carrying case boxes over there. So I think that'll work actually, because like I said earlier when the video started, I had this that I need to set up, so I think this is going to work out perfect, putting all that stuff down right there, displaying consoles and stuff. And then obviously once I get the new bookcase, that's going to be a lot of extra space that I can just throw down there as well. So all in all, it's going to work out perfectly. The PSP Go, I actually keep on my desk, so it's not going down there. Get a lot of use out of that. So I'm actually going to put the PSP games going sideways and the PSP Go box over top of it, because I modded the PSP Go. So whenever I play PSP, I have a digital backup of the game on the Go, and I don't play the actual UMD. The UMD is just for collecting purposes. I would love, in a perfect world, for somebody to make an OLED screen for the PSP, and I would just mod that and do it that way. But for right now, this is the way. This is the Mother, this is the Lord, the Son, the Holy Rosary, whatever else you might call. So the next thing we're going to move on to, this is next. Moving all the Nintendo stuff over here. In case you're wondering, this video started at 4:30 p.m. and it's now 5:23. This is definitely going to be over an hour. Very good possibility it'll be my first 2-hour video. I know I got Let's Plays and stuff on the channel that long, but I don't have real videos that long. So it would be a first. And I forgot all my cleaning supplies on the other side of the room. If you were on this channel since the beginning of the channel, you know the Nintendo Switch had a very special place in my heart. It basically went with me everywhere. just like the 3DS did. Is this gonna... Yeah, that is not gonna stay. Let's put that on the ground for now. The Switch, just such a perfect console for me. I went and bought pretty much every single game I have on this thing was, my main way of playing games. And now it's kind of weird to think about it, because realistically, the Switch 2 is about to come out. And when the Switch 2 comes out, why are you stuck? Honestly, probably should have known I was gonna have to have this with me, because nothing's ever simple. But as I was saying, when the Switch 2 comes out, there's a very high likelihood that it's going to become my main console again. Even though I just got the PS5 Pro, a very high likelihood that that's going to become my main console. And if not my main, then it's at least going to get more play than anything else. Because I love Nintendo. Like, I remember growing up when all the other kids were getting PSPs, I was getting a Game Boy. I was getting a DS. I was getting Nintendo stuff. Even though I played PlayStation mainly for console at the time, Nintendo was just kind of special to me. And then getting the Switch, what is this receipt for? Oh yeah, I recently bought a toiletry kit, Star Wars Tatooine. I'll show you it whenever I make a video on my daily carry, because I carry that stuff everywhere. So, you know the drill. But as I was saying, the Switch was my first console that I bought with my own money. You could say the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One was, but I didn't earn that money. I got that money from a car wreck. It was an insurance payout. So it wasn't really like I went out and earned that money. I earned the money that I paid for my Switch with. So it just kind of has special place in my heart. I'm actually trying really, really hard to go through and finish out Xenoblade Chronicles 2 so I can start Xenoblade 3, because Xenoblade X comes out later this month. And it's interesting to say the least, but what is this game? Alright, good. I don't know if I cataloged that yet, Nintendo World Championships. It's kind of weird now thinking about it, because that game came out back in the summer. And we all thought it was going to be some grandiose thing. I mean, my coverage of it on this channel, it did pretty good. Oh, I got like 15 copies of Persona 5 if you were wondering. None of you were, I just thought I'd point that out. It's one of my biggest gaming flexes of all time. How much money I've wasted on Persona. At least $500. But like I was saying, Switch holds a special place in my heart. And now the Switch 2, you know damn well I'm getting it day one. Even if I say I'm not, the thing that sucks about a new Nintendo console is there's never any games on it for the first year. Like the PlayStation 5 launched and it had, major games right off the bat. Switch didn't have that. I don't think any Nintendo console has ever had that. I think the biggest launch a Nintendo console has ever had, as far as games go, probably like the Wii. Because the Wii had Wii Sports, Twilight Princess, and all these other major games. The Switch just had Breath of the Wild, nothing else really. And that's not to knock Breath of the Wild in any way, because Breath of the Wild was a great game, even if it's not what I would consider a good Zelda game. And I know someone's going to get upset out there. I just personally do not consider Breath of the Wild like a good Zelda game. It is a great game all in on its own, and with what it's supposed to be. But it's strayed too far to be Zelda for me. And I think that's probably the biggest reason why I never finished Tears of the Kingdom. I'm going to, at some point. It's not my Zelda. Skyward Sword HD came out. Not one of the better Zelda games. But with the fixes they did on Switch, it was so good. So good. I remember, because I hadn't moved to El Paso yet, I came down here to visit to see what it was like. And that game came out like 2 or 3 days before. I took it with me down here, finished it so quickly. I didn't even do any sightseeing. Just holds a special spot, I guess, for the older Zeldas for me, like that style where it was dungeon crawlers. Obviously, Breath of the Wild is one of the best games of all time. I'm gonna move this down one more peg actually because that's gonna be too tight. It's just not my Zelda. And there's still so many Switch stuff for me to go through right now. I'm probably gonna put on this middle shelf here a ton of 3DS and DS, Wii U, etc. Because honestly, I don't know. I might end up needing another shelf for Switch. Or at least a good chunk of it for Switch, which if that ends up being the case, it'll probably be Wii and Wii U because I don't got a big Wii or Wii U collection because why would I play on the Wii when I had a PlayStation 3? And then the Wii U. And now this is the part that's always difficult for me when it comes to putting up the Switch stuff, is there's no real good way to make it look good with all of these different collector's editions in which I have, because some of them overlap, some of them don't. And I obviously don't want to just cover up everything, but some things end up having to get covered up because there's just no way for me to do it otherwise. And then it's all just so much different size boxes. Okay. This is a hard one. Are we going to display Wii Sports or Sonic Colors? We're going to display Sonic Colors. So Sonic Colors is going to probably go right here because I don't got nowhere else to put it. And then this is going to go there. Panzer Dragoon remake right next to it. Which, fun fact, this is bought from Limited Run Games. And it came damaged. So that's kind of lame. And now it just don't even shut. I mean, I can buy at some point, and I probably will, a new Sega Saturn case to put it in. But that's just so frustrating. Like, that goes back to what we were talking about earlier with Limited Run being such a bad company now. And obviously they had their issues before they got bought out, but it feels like those issues are just amplified since being bought. And then, in the case of Oculus Trip, I own 2 copies of this game. I've never played it. I own the Day 1 edition and the Anniversary edition. I don't think there's anything different in them. I think it's just a different box. So a lot of times I feel like kind of wasted money buying it. For right now, this is how this is going to be displayed. Probably going to change that up. But for now, this is the way. Oh no, it's not actually, because there's more Switch stuff I forgot about. You know what? It's going on another shelf. Because I got so much Switch stuff, and I got even more Switch stuff that I don't keep out because I don't got room for it. I'm actually getting kind of concerned now with the Switch 2 after looking at all this stuff, because there's a very good chance I'm not going to have no room. I cannot wait to put up all these bookcases in a basement, because once I move, these half shelves, I'm not going to have them in the game room. I'm going to get more full shelves. Obviously can't hear because there's a window, but once I move and it's in the basement, it is all going in the shelf. On the tall shelves, so much room will be saved. So much room. Please don't tell me how to. Jesus fucking Christ! I gotta go down one more. And I still got so much to do today. I have videos to edit for tomorrow. I have dinner to make. I gotta go to the BMW dealership to test drive a car because mine's about to be paid off, and I'm kind of looking to upgrade. And I have a scheduled test drive here at about 7:30, which is still 2 hours away. I have to go test drive. It's a BMW 852i. I'll put a picture of it on the screen. But it's a really cool car. But too long didn't read. I still want a big car. I just want a more luxury car, I guess. Not in like any cocky way, like not saying like I think I deserve one or that I think I have done anything to need one. It's just, I drive a Challenger. Sometimes you want something a little more practical. Do not know how to put Oculus shirt. Honestly, this is the worst possible way Nintendo has ever done any of their stuff as far as displaying collector's editions. So we're just going to do that, and we're going to put the Zelda controller right in front of there for now, because we got so much still to bring up onto here. This definitely going to look the best with the Wii and Wii U stuff, because otherwise I just don't think it's going to work I forgot I owned this because I never see it. Because like I was saying, I don't have a giant Wii or Wii U collection. So for the most part, they will fit right here. Only thing I'm a little iffy on is the Twilight Princess HD stuff and the Animal Crossing, which one was this? Amiibo Festival, terrible game, got it for $5 at GameStop. Other than that, I'm not too sure I'll ever really buy much more Wii or Wii U stuff. Actually, that's a lie. I would buy so much more Wii stuff if I had somewhere near me that I could actually reliably buy Wii stuff from. But I can't because there's no game stores where I live. And that's a bummer. A very massive bummer for me. It's one of my favorite reasons for going home now. Because there I have access to 15 different video game stores. So if I want to buy whatever game I want, I can go and pretty affordably do it. Shoot, okay. The issue remains. Guess we'll put that there. We'll pull Twilight Princess over here, because it'll slide in nicely there. Or actually, I should put Twilight Princess there, and slide this in here, because this box is pretty confuzzled anyways. So we'll slide that there and put Sonic Colors in front. It doesn't look ideal. I'm not too happy with it. We'll see if I have more room later to put that stuff somewhere else. But for right now, that is okay, because it is not exactly a priority ad. And oh my god, I have more Switch stuff down there. This is gonna be a problem. I can already see that. Shoot, okay. So now I gotta decide what I'm gonna do here. I gotta decide, am I gonna put the 3DS, 2DS, everything else here? Or am I gonna move some of these collector's editions down here so that it has a little bit more cleaner look? I think that's actually gonna be for the better. And then I can pull more stuff down forward and make it look a little bit more nice. Shoot, I really need that other bookcase. Did not realize how bad I actually need that. I might not even have enough room to do my plan now that I'm thinking about it. I should, but I don't know at this point. I don't know. We're coming in tight. I gotta let you know that right now. We are coming in tight. So we'll put it this way. The 3DS, or not the 3DS, the 2 Wii U's can go right there like that. Put the one that's not in as good a shape behind it. Sonic Colors right beside to hide it. Or actually, no. We'll put these two switchers over here. World Championships and that one. Because that works out nicely. We'll put this Zelda controller there. This Zelda controller right. Yep, this is going to work out. This is going to work out. It's not going to look the prettiest, but it's going to work out. And then these other ones we can just put here on the side. Oh shoot. Oh, okay. Like I said, this is going to be so much better when I have a house. Obviously got to leave Texas to do that, but for right now, this works actually, because I can just put these ones here. I'm going to slide this one in the back because it's the same game and that is in a good condition. And this one is right there. It works. It worked. It worked out perfectly. That is almost ideal. And then obviously I got some other little Switch knickknacks that I can throw up on here. Like this was the GameStop limited edition. It's a little cutting board plaque for Tears of the Kingdom. It's really nice actually. But I can leave that right there because it looks immaculate. And then I got some other things for Tears of the Kingdom that was also GameStop exclusive. And that is these little wristbands to look like Link's arm in it. I got two because at the midnight launch they were handing them out. And my girlfriend got one and then she gave me hers because she didn't care for it. And then, can't remember if this was GameStop or Target, but when you got the Kirby game, the last one that came out, you got some really cool pins with it. So this is going to go right up here as well. There has to be a better place for me to put these ones so there's not just so out there. But for right now, they're gonna go right on top because I don't got room. I gotta be more conservative with the room, and I just wrapped this necklace in the hole. Also got both of these Game & Watches. It really kind of sucks they didn't keep doing it, but it's like everything Nintendo does. They do it twice and then never again. Nintendo NES Classic, Super NES Classic, and then no N64 Classic. So we're just gonna put this there like that for now, for one, and the other one up like that. I want to get more of those because I think they look so cool as a clock, but I don't want to risk damaging the ones that I have. Actually, it would probably look a tad bit better putting one over here like that. Just switching it up a little bit. Now this PlayStation 2 and 1 stuff, nightmare, nightmare, nightmare. I need to alphabetize it. But the chance of me actually doing that is very slim. But like I said earlier, that's all okay because I'm just going to slide this out and we're going to start moving more Nintendo stuff down onto this bookcase because this one over here is going to have a lot of those boxes. So it's not as like needed to have a bunch of room. And realistically, with these, once I have a house, they're going in a different separate bookcase because I have a lot of things that I need to, or want to rather, display with it. There is a ton of figures and Game Informers and stuff that I want to display with the PlayStation 2, but the way everything's situated for me right now, just don't got the room to do so. I think it's going to work out pretty ideal once everything's said and done. I don't think there's anything I can do about the Xbox without more shelves, but we shall see. Because worst case scenario, I can just move the shoe one off and put it over there. We'll see. I just noticed every time I do this, it kind of looks like in those cartoons where the adults' heads cut off. Kind of goofy, but yeah. That'll be worst case scenario. It'll take the shoe shelf off, put one of them over here, the one that sticks out a little bit, and then the shoes that I don't wear just move in the back. Sometimes I feel like I treat my Xbox stuff like a second-class citizen. But I mean, it's the Xbox, so it kind of is a second-class citizen. I have a small plan. This might work or it might look very ugly. Only time will tell. Basically, before we get into it, I'm going to bring these pegs down just slightly. And with these pegs, this is where the DS and 3DS and Game Boy is going to go. And then right next to it, or right below it, is going to be GameCube and Nintendo 64. I'm going to put the GameCube going long ways and the Nintendo 64 going up. So it should look pretty cool if it looks how it does in my head right now. The reason for doing it that way is because I still use my DS, 3DS stuff a lot. So it just works out better having it there for me because it's not as low. As I was saying, I don't actually play my GameCube all that much, and if I do play it, it's always emulated because those games are just too expensive now. And even though I've spent all this money getting the games that I have, and then even the money I spend getting new games for it, I just get really stressed out that they're gonna break or get disc rot or something. And in my mind, if I'm emulating them and I'm not using the disc, then I'm not seeing any damage that occurs, therefore it's not happening. But then obviously some things like DS, 3DS, you don't really get much of a choice, so to say. Okay. Actually, I'm going to do these long ways because I have more 3DS than I do DS and Game Boy. Actually, that's a lie. I have more Game Boy than I do anything else. But what I mean when I say that, I'll show you here in a second. All of my Game Boy games, I have less in actual cases than I do anything else. So it's going to go on top of that. And then what I think I might be able to do is sneak in some of my 3DS boxes. Because I have bought several 3DSs. I might be able to sneak in some. Or actually, probably won't do that. I'll probably just put my 3DS, or the 2DS that I use, because it's a lot. Okay. All my regular 3DSs are kind of rare. I have all the Pokemon ones, and then I have some other special ones, so I'm not really wanting to use those. So I use this 2DS XL that I got right as they were getting discontinued. So probably just gonna put that in one of those displays and put it right here, right next to the good old analog pocket. Also because I think I'm out of space. I will probably do the same with the Game Boys and regular DS, but we shall see how this works out. Because I got a handful of loose parts, as you can hear. But the DS game's just a handful here that should go barely right on top, but still right on top nonetheless. Yeah, this is gonna work, just barely. Honestly, I ought to write that down as a New Year's resolution goal, because I wrote down all my goals, is to get more cases for my Game Boy games. Because right now I keep them all in like a little pencil pouch, all tight and snug. The same thing I've done since I was a kid, just because I'm so terrified of them messing up. But I definitely need to get some more cases. And now it is GameCube time. I really, really want to alphabetize all of these games, but I'm also so horrified of doing that and then having it look ugly or not what I want, so to say. But I'm actually, as of right now, surprisingly happy with how it's turning out. Oh yeah, this is something too. I don't think I ever showed you it or talked about it in the video. This is actually Resident Evil 4, and it still has its original sticker on it. Now, I'm gonna be real with you. I have no idea where I got this. Like, half of me wants to say this is my childhood copy, and the other half wants to say I got it somewhere else. But I never tear off stickers, so probably my childhood copy. I didn't remember paying $40 for the childhood copy though. Or at least asking my grandpa to, because he would have never done that. He was like, no, too expensive. It's something else. My GameCube games are actually not in alphabetized order either, which is an issue. But for this bottom shelf here, it's going to be GameCube, Nintendo 64, whatever that thing's called, and Sega Dreamcast. I will say this though, it looks 10 times better throwing it down the side, or going it down long ways and then putting something else on top, than it did the way I had it over here. We might be able to even make the Xbox stuff look pretty, because I think this is going to work out perfect. Because I plan to do this the same way down there, with PlayStation 2 going this way, and then PlayStation 1 on top of it. When it comes to the Nintendo 64, because this is all the games my brothers and I had as kids, I ended up with it because they didn't want it. But I think I have just about every major Nintendo 64 game that released in the continental United States. I'm sure there's some that I don't, but all the major ones, I pretty much have. I'm not done buying for Nintendo 64 though. There's still so much more for me to have to get. And now that I'm thinking about it, I probably should have took a picture for the thumbnail before I changed all this, so that you could have seen in the thumbnail as clickbait everything that went wrong with it or that was ugly. Alright, that actually worked out ideal, because doing it this way, I am one short of having the Nintendo 64 games all stacked, which means Donkey Kong on the ColecoVision is going to go right on top of there. I only bought this because it's one of the few Nintendo games that did not release on a Nintendo console. I don't even know if it works, to be honest with you. I don't even know what the console it came out on looks like. Oh yeah, Evercade. That's what it was called. I only got 2 Evercade games, and it's the Duke Nukem, all 5 of them that came out on it. I do want to get an Evercade, just have not got around to it. And it looks like this is going to work out just perfect, because I'm going to be able to pull all of the video game related stuff onto here. And maybe even all the comics that I have with me here. Because obviously I did not bring my entire comic collection when I moved. The majority of my comics are still back home. It fits like a glove, dude. Like an absolute glove. And obviously it's not ideal having these here with the games, but for now, gotta do what I gotta do. And now, it is time to migrate the PlayStation 2, the mighty PlayStation 2, over to this other one. Also, not in alphabetical order. And that actually really bothers me. It was in alphabetical order at one point. And then when I was moving to this apartment, everything just kind of got juggled around. And it's just never been in alphabetical order since then. And I don't know if I care enough to do it right now, because when I move back to the East Coast, there's going to be a lot of stuff that gets unalphabetized anyways. So it's probably best to just spend an afternoon next year or later this year putting it all back together. And I might have too many PlayStation 2 games to go straight across. I'm beautiful. I'm beautiful, I tell you. I'm beautiful. Shit, I actually don't. Okay. Wait, really? All but 2? Okay, that actually... Alright, I got a mental plan right now. Actually, it's all but 3. Which works out perfect, because that means Jack 2 will get deflated. Oh, I think I've told you guys about this once before, years and years ago. But I actually ripped my original cover of Jack 2 to use as a bookmark when I was a kid. Stupid idea. I regret doing that. But all that means is I get to buy a new version in the future. So Jack 2 will be displayed on the side. Metal Gear Solid 3 will be displayed on the side. And I guess Call of Duty Finest Hour. Because I would say these 3 games kind of define my PlayStation 2 experience more so than any other game I could. Actually, nope, that's a lie. I forgot I had Final Fantasy X. So Final Fantasy X going up there. And then these jam packs are going right there. I completely forgot about that pile. So there's going to be one batch of PlayStation 2 that just goes straight up. Now I've got a mountain of PlayStation 1 games to hope fit. Which they should. They should. I don't see why they wouldn't. And if it fits, it's going to be just barely. Alright, so with that being said, it's now time to work on moving the boxes I took off over here. And this is where I'm kind of starting to wonder, what am I going to do with all these figures and these controllers if I don't want it all to be ugly and in random spots? We'll worry about it when we get there, actually. Because it might not even be a problem for me today. It might be something I can put off to worry about for another day. I think down here in this cubby, the lesser exciting stuff works out better because it's going to take up way less room and offer way more, I guess, bang for the buck, so to say. I'm really glad PlayStation came out with this, the PlayStation Backbone, because this really was the precursor for the Portal. And if I hadn't gotten this, I don't think I would have got the Portal. Same for this little thing. This is a lightsaber. The 2TB SSD. Do they fit? Do they fit? Shit, they don't. Okay. That's not too bad. I just display there like that. And it still slightly works out. What I talked about in the beginning of the video, we're up to that point now. I'm gonna raise you up a little bit. Alright, we're now where I talked about at the beginning of the video, where I thought I'd be able to take one of these shelves off and just put all of that stuff on top of it, and then attempt to make the Xbox section look pretty. I think it's gonna work. I think we're gonna pull it off. So I'm thinking for the base, we put the PlayStation Portal, because this one obviously has the Portal inside. So it's gonna be the heaviest, like, strong here. And then, actually we're gonna move this slightly to the side, because I forgot that that side will stay shut. And then the disc stand on top. Please fit like here. It did, just not upside down. This is gonna work. Silver controller here. Purple controller here. Look at that gap, almost non-existent. some things may not be able to be displayed here as I originally wanted. Might have to move some things to the back until I get into the bookcase, which should be here soon, but I think it's gonna work. Gotta work on the Xbox now. That's gonna take a while. So as you can see, this is kind of ugly here. So that's why I was saying it could probably get it to work. But now that I'm thinking about it, see how I have the collector's editions on top of the bookcases? I might be able to bring down almost all of those and put the PlayStation boxes on top of the bookcase. We'll experiment with that right after this, because what I'm thinking right now is put a shelf here so I can get all the Xbox One separated from the Xbox Series X. I'm not going to be buying many more games on the X, but it will do good to separate them just because their boxes are all the same. Sometimes it's really weird to think that for the longest time, the Xbox One was my main console. I did not play my PlayStation 4. And the reason for that being was the PlayStation 4, although it had far superior games to the Xbox One, it just wasn't a good console. It really wasn't. People will lie and say that it was, but in all likelihood, it just wasn't a good console. And like I said, I don't mean in terms of games, but the original base PlayStation 4 always had an internet issue at all times. It lagged, it couldn't run its UI. It was just a problem. And then there was the Xbox One, which although significantly less powerful and did not have as good at games, when it came to third-party games, it did it better than the PlayStation 4 could ever dream of doing it. Which is why it ended up my preferred console that generation. And now is the part that I may or may not be able to actually do. One. Shoot. Okay. It may not be possible to optimize this. I'm gonna try something. This is like a one-stop track Hail Mary, basically. I'm gonna put these in going backwards, right? And then whatever doesn't fit on one shelf, I'm gonna see if I can pull off putting it on top. Because I'm going to need at least an inch or two of clearance to be able to pull this off. This is the wrong console. This is the Xbox Series X, not the One. Which is honestly very frustrating that they made the boxes look identical. Alright, so it's not perfect, but basically I have Xbox One going up this way and then this way, which is going to allow me to put the Xbox Series X on the right side. And to be completely honest with you, there is not enough games on the Series X in the pipeline or coming out to really worry about right now with it being like this. It looks better than I had it before, but it's not something I need to be concerned with because after Indiana Jones, there's like 2 more Xbox games coming out this generation. So that allows me to put Dr. Octavius and Silk right here together. Just gotta figure out how I'm gonna angle Silk so you don't fall. Alright, Xbox 360. I could move it up and down. I think that would make it look better than it is now, where it's kind of just scattered. Not scattered, but it's like it's this way, and then a couple on top. I think doing it that way will significantly increase its look, and then it's all gonna fit right here anyways. Honestly, one of the things I'm excited for the most about having a house is I'm going to be able to just sit back, relax, and not have to worry about this bookcase situation anymore. I just buy a bunch of bookcases because it doesn't matter if I buy one bookcase per console and just the entire room just has bookcases all around that are half empty, because as time progresses, they're gonna fill. I feel like every time I do this, I end up with so much room that I didn't even realize I had. I will say this though. When I went heavy collecting on Xbox 360, in hindsight, I do wish I had just done that on the PlayStation 3. Because now, like, the PlayStation 3 collection is kind of small compared to everything else, but it could have been so much bigger. But you know, you live and learn. I'm starting to think this is either going to barely fit or not fit at all doing it this way. Worst case scenario, I might be able to squeeze something out, I don't know. Or it might just barely fit, which is great because I am no longer buying Xbox 360 games, at least not actively. I do have a handful of 360 games left that I want, but it's just exclusives. So it doesn't really matter too much right here. All that matters is that it looks good on a shelf for now. That worked out perfectly. I did not think that was going to happen. But here we are. Could not have turned out any better at all. And now, the Xbox original. Not to be confused with the Xbox One. Gonna set them sideways and then stuff on top of it. Every single one of them fit perfectly straight across. So now I'm kind of questioning, why did I do it the way I did it? I also no longer have an Xbox original. So it's more or less at this point in time something I buy just to collect for and then emulate. So I'm not too concerned overall about most of this. Like not having easy access to it, I'm not concerned at all. Looking at it now, I don't think I have much of a choice. I think it is time to organize my Blu-rays because they honestly just look so ugly down there. There was a time in my life where every single movie I saw in theaters, I would religiously buy the Blu-ray for. Unfortunately, I don't do that anymore because it got too expensive. For whatever reason, they decided to start charging me $65 for them. And I think that's ridiculous. And I just remembered that this TV stand has things on the side that I can put controllers in to clean things up just a little bit. Alright, we got the Blu-ray section done. Looking quite clean. Of course, we'll go over all this in the end. But first, if you were wondering, it is now 7:01. It took like 2.5 hours to do that. Alright, so here we are, the final look. Camera died about halfway through that, so I had to stop. But honestly, I'm very, very happy with it. So we'll start over here and just go over it. I guess this is kind of like a secondary room tour, but not really. So first, PlayStation 3. I think it looked really, really good. Especially with how the PSP and Vitas turned out right there. PlayStation 4 area looks good. That's where I'm putting the unsorted for right now because I gotta catalog that as I said. This ended up pretty good up here. I like the way it looked. The Xbox ended up cleaner than I expected. 360 looks good. Xbox Original looks good. And the Blu-ray just turned out fantastic compared to how I thought it was going to turn out. This is still a mess because I use it too much to really worry about cleaning it now. Ended up moving all the PlayStation stuff up there. Battery's about to die again. PlayStation 5 stuff here, bought out some collector's editions, able to bring out Wolfenstein here. PlayStation 2 looks nice and clean. Over here, nice and clean for the GameCube, 3DS, and Game Boy. Looks really, really good. I love the way that turned out, having those two out on display. Like that. Then, boom, bang. The camera's going to die in about 12 seconds. So with that being said, if you enjoyed this video and you like longer videos like that, let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.